brands worth thousands of crores, revenue and profitability analysis, statistical tools. The numbers related to marketing and business can appear intimidating for any aspirant of marketing. Do not worry. In this video, we'll tackle 3 important areas where if you understand the numerical ability required, you can excel in marketing. Hi, welcome to the next episode of Winning with Marketing. I'm Abhishek Jhingan and I have over 20 years of marketing strategy, branding, sales and business experience. Today we'll talk about the numerical ability required for marketing. Numbers can be a nightmare for people, especially if maths was not your strong point. We will discuss 3 areas in this video where if we understand the numerics involved, the skills required to handle the numbers, we can easily sail through our marketing jobs. The 3 areas for you to enhance your numerical ability is operational analysis, market research analysis, and the brand P&L. We shall go in deep in each of these 3 areas and look at how we can manage it. Operational analysis is basically the short-term numbers that you will be confronted with. It will to do with weekly or monthly sales, monthly, quarterly, annual revenue and expense sheets where you track and monitor your expenses, tracking of your marketing activities, beginning, percentage of completion, more like the numbers related to project management. There'll also be bits on customer feedback data. So not exactly market research, but it will be data that you generate from the field, from your sales, your internal customer as well as your external customer. Now friends, these are basically shorter term data. It involves a lot of understanding base numbers, the size of your brand, geographical contribution, growth rates. So in the beginning it does take a little bit of time, but after you go through these numbers fortnight by fortnight, by month, it becomes a lot easier. Again, no fancy maths required here. Like I said, you need to understand base numbers, growth rates, contribution percentages, and that's what it's all about. A lot of these numbers will need to be converted into reports which go either to higher management where they review the reports and give back feedback, or you might be making presentations yourself. You also use this kind of data, weekly or monthly data, to communicate it back to your internal customers, tell them on how things are progressing. So this is another use of it. This data can also be used by you to further look at it as a feedback to your marketing activities, a kind of closing the loop to your marketing, getting feedback and making your activities better. So this is the day-to-day operational work. Once you've spent a few months in the organization, this becomes like routine work. Again, no complex maths, doable but takes a little bit of time in the beginning. The second area is market research and analysis. There are 2 or 3 types of market research that you'll encounter. One is larger studies which unearth deep insights about your brand or your category. The second is periodic smaller researches which track the customer or consumer behavior related to your brand. Also, the third area of market research analysis or market researches would be one of pricing research, a research to look at a particular area. As we've discussed in my earlier videos on market research, here more than numeric skill, what you need is to understand the major business questions around which researches are commissioned. However, there will be statistical tools required, but that if you have a good marketing research team, they are going to handle most of it. You should be able to understand the output, the data that is presented, and how you use it importantly to make decisions to take your brand forward. The third area is the brand P&L, and you will spend a lot of time here. Basically, like any P&L or profit and loss account, it's all about the revenues, the expenses and the operational profit that your brand makes. Revenues are relatively simple. It is basically the value of each unit and the number of unit sold, the product of this, the sales that your brand generates over a month, over a quarter, half yearly or year. Apart from the revenue, you'll have to look at costs and expenses. Cost is the money that you spend to build assets. Expenses is the money spent to increase revenue by impacting customer or consumer behavior. We'll not go into in-depth things like COGS which are involved, but let's just look at expenses which will be in your hands. Now, the brand P&L is all about, like we mentioned, the profitability that your brand generates. There are two parameters. One, of course, is your top line, your sales or your revenue. The other is, let's bunch it together in expenses. Now, these are the expenses that you spend in your various marketing activities, which obviously impact the customer and therefore impact your revenue, right? Your profitability, therefore, is based on this. This is not very complex set of numbers, but it is more an instinct towards revenues and expenses that you build up over time. There's no detailed maths here, but as time goes on, you'll understand what amount of your total promotional budget available you apportion to various activities. As you do more and more cycles of budgeting and making more annual profit and loss statements, you'll understand what are the must-do kind of expenses, what impact they have on your revenue, and what are the other expenses which may not have as much impact. There are various areas that you can be challenged on regarding your P&L, your brand P&L. Two areas which come to mind immediately are often, and hopefully not every year, but often what happens is your promotional expenditure is cut after about half year. That's where you have to have thorough understanding of your brand P&L and know which are the expenses that you can curtail and harm your revenues the least. The second could be an absolute flip. Your organization might come back and tell you that, here I've got 20% more of promo expenses for you. Use it well, but tell me what impact will it have in getting us increased sales. These are two scenarios you have to grapple with throughout your marketing career. This comes with practice. Over time, you'll realize what works, what doesn't. You'll also understand how periodically expense cuts or expense additions can be managed, but always to keep your brand in the up and up, keep your brand sales in the positive. So actually, for the brand P&L, two sets of skills are required. One is basic budgeting. The second skill is understanding how each expense apportionment fits in together. Both these skills come with time. No one is born with it. No one realizes it as they enter marketing. Give it a little bit of time. Focus on 2 or 3 aspects that I've mentioned and you'll become adept at it. So the numbers related to operational analysis is what you'll pick up the fastest. Every company has different formats. Once you go over these for a few months, you'll become much better at it. Regarding market research, you learn that over time. It took me a few years. In fact, we didn't do very much research in my first couple of assignments. But this is again, you learn over time. Interact with people who are already better at market research. Make friends with your market research colleagues. They have helped me immensely when I was new to commissioning a research, finding out how it works. So market research, again, you will build over time. The brand P&L, in my view, is more of judgment. What to tweak when, having an idea about how things will change when you change various aspects of the brand P&L. Try not to get intimidated by numbers. Definitely do not let anyone try to tell you that numbers in marketing are an unattainable skill. It requires basic understanding, practice, and smartness, and can be mastered by almost anyone. That's all in this section today. I hope you found this discussion on numbers helpful and you now will approach numbers in marketing with renewed confidence. All the very best, and I'll see you in the next video.